Sergeant Daniel Greene joins us now. He's one of the first officers on the scene the night the Murdaughs were murdered and testified in the trial against Alex Murdaugh. Sergeant, what's your reaction to the guilty verdict and the life sentence?
Well, how the trial went kind of without any serious tension. And when it got time for the verdict, we were all kind of on edge. But, the jury only took less than 3 hours to get to the verdict. And honestly, none of us were surprised by it, just glad that it actually got there.
Take us back to the night of the murders. You were the first person to encounter Alex Murdaugh. What stood out to you?
Obviously, the first thing that stood out was, he's standing there with Maggie and Paul's bodies, both right there within, 10, 15 yards of where he was standing. He was just extremely upset and just kind of all over the place, so trying to reel him in and talk to him and figure out exactly what happened was difficult at first, but after a few minutes of trying to talk to him, we got there and I started getting better information from him. But he was, all over the place at first. So
he was all over the place. Was he, visibly upset and crying that his wife and son were dead?
Oh yeah, he was pretty upset. I didn't see him physically crying, but there's such a wide range of emotions that can take place in a situation like that. But yeah, he was upset. Just immediately, obviously jumped right into the whole boat crash thing before I could really start talking to him. But he was very, very upset when I first started talking to him.
You've been in law enforcement for years. That night, did you suspect Murdaugh was the killer?
No, absolutely not. When I first got there, the way the call was dispatched to me was that a man just found his wife and son dead. So my first thought of getting on scene is not going to be, oh, he did this. Obviously, after further investigation, that led me phenomenally with, got to that conclusion. But no, that was not my first initial thought.
I want to pick up on a point you made earlier. What do you make of the fact that the night of the murders, Murdaugh brought up this 2019 boating accident where his son, Paul's friend, was killed?
There was so much going on at the time. Him just throwing that out there didn't exactly stick out to me necessarily as a red flag of some kind. I actually didn't realize who he was, until he had brought that up. But the fact that he just immediately threw that out there later on in the investigation kind of became a focal point.
Does it stick out to you now?
Yeah, after talking with investigators that kind of looked into that part of my interview with them, it seemed odd to just immediately throw that out. It's easy to, Monday morning quarterback something, and it definitely sticks out looking back on it. I get here and your wife and son are dead, and you just immediately want to jump into telling me who did it, not necessarily how anything happened, how you got there, how you ended up in this position, but you want to immediately jump into formulating some sort of reason behind what happened. So, yeah, looking back, that definitely caused a red flag.
Okay, Sergeant Daniel Greene, thank you.